Yeah, 35 damage AoE, and I'm still OTKing everyone. Hey everyone, it's Armor Gaming. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to an exclusive first look at the brand new race monster, Jakpack. Oh man. Alright, there we go. So let me hatch this monster. So, this is the monster we've all been racing for. Now we're going to figure out whether or not it was a good idea to race for this monster. I have a theory that this is honestly just Voltic in disguise. Right? If you saw the lore, you saw that he's really bummed out about not being a superhero anymore. But why does it look like Voltic? So, I don't know. I have my suspicions. So, the ultimate looks alright. Huge shout out to SP for giving me everything I need to make this video. They provided the monster, all the cells I need to take this monster to rank 5, level 150. Any gems I use will be reimbursed. And of course, they also provided the food to feed this monster. Let's take a look at his lore. Jakpack's talent is outstanding for a monster of his age. His parents started suspecting that he was special when, at the age of 2, he turned his crib into a hovercraft. He goes to school with all the other young monsters, but he had to combine his education with superhero duty. Okay, I might be totally wrong then. It's not Voltic in disguise, but it does look like Voltic, so maybe he's related to Voltic. Maybe he'll help Voltic get out of his slum. With that being said, let's take a look at his ultimate. We're the Patrol restores all cooldowns on our allies, very nice, removes all negative effects, and gives 100% life and stamina. This is basically a 100% reset to your monsters. It's almost like you're coming into the game for the first time. Any skills they use that had a cooldown, if you got hit with CDA, that's restored. Any negative effects your monsters have are gone. You get your life back and you get your stamina back. That is pretty awesome. It's not one of those ultimates that immediately changes the course of the game, because you might get this ultimate and you still lose, because then the enemy goes and they deny you, they stun you, whatever, they freeze you. But it is a really cool reset ultimate. Let's take a look at the traits. So this is the very first Metro monster to have the anticipation trait. So he's going to counter any of the extra turners. This season we got Emerald Lothura that has 3 extra turn skills. We have quite a few other monsters that have like a single extra turn skill. So the minute the monster uses an extra turn skill, you will go next in the turn order and you'll be able to do an attack against them. You yourself are immune to shock. Shock prevents monsters from utilizing extra turn skills. You know, this was a great way to counter Unrelenting Assault. So with immune to shock, if any monster hits you with shock, you don't gotta worry about that. You will still be able to use your own extra turn skills. I do believe this monster has one of them. And then you have precision to the start of the battle for all of your teammates. So if you have this monster on your team, none of their attacks will miss. Alright, with that being said, let's take a look at stats. Starting things off with power, we have 9,713, which is honestly very low. It is the second lowest power stat of the Metro era. It is tied with that of Ryclops and Decobra. The only power stat that is less than 9713 is 9680, which belongs to monsters like Don K9, Aquafiend, Mr. Not Found, and Super Dream. So I mentioned some support, some deniers. In terms of a life stat, we have 111,592, which is also the second lowest life stat in the game of the Metro era. The only life stat that is lower is the monster that have 110,988, which is Satman, Decobra, Aquafiend, Mr. Not Found, and Super Dream. So this monster does not hit hard. He's also pretty squishy, but then he makes up for that in his speed stat, 7568. This is the third highest stat in the game. It is tied with that of Ryclops, who's like an anti-control meta monster. And the only monsters faster are Gekko and Aquafiend that have the same base stat, and then Mr. Not Found. So in order, the fastest monsters are Gekko and Aquafiend are tied, Mr. Not Found. Then we have Jakpack and Ryclops in third place overall, or I guess tied for fourth. Okay, let's take a look at skills. We have Jakpack Taser, deals moderate thunder damage to when enemy applies shock. It is a spammable shock skill. Once again, for newer players, deals low thunder damage and blocks extra turn skills. We have Hero Apprentice, which applies damage boost to an ally. It is a spammable damage boost skill. We have I'll Distract Him, applies double damage to an ally, 2-turn double damage on a 1-turn cooldown. So this could be great just to buff your attacker. Let's see, Taser Throw, applies shock to an enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself, requires cooldown. So this is a shock extra turn skill. So again, this monster himself cannot be shocked, so you never have to worry about not being able to utilize this skill. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I guess the fact that you can shock the enemy monster, give yourself an extra turn and do something else. So like if you're fighting Emerald Lothura, for example, you could shock her, prevents her from doing ET skills, and then do something else. Or if you're facing a corrupted monster that has Unrelenting Assault, you could shock the monster with Unrelenting Assault and then do something else. So I guess there is benefit to that skill. I believe that's your only ET skill. And then for a skill that targets all of your team, you have Jakpack, restores all cooldowns and allies, applies cooldown protection and precision to all allies. So what I will say about Jakpack is, as I mentioned, this monster has the third fastest stats in the game. He's faster than Baron X, and you're faster than Don K9. Baron X and Don K9 are the only two monsters right now that rely on cooldown activation. So, all things being equal, if you're fighting a 3-speed Don Canine, if you're fighting a 3-speed Baronex, if you have Jakpack running 3-speed, you're going to go before them. You're able to do your cooldown protection, thus essentially immobilizing them. Like, they're not going to be able to do much else. Now, of course, Don Canine does still have access to stunning. Baronex still has access to stamina draining, so you're not completely safe, but at least you're protected from getting your cooldowns activated. Let's see what else we have. Flying Taser deals moderate therm damage to all enemies, and then you have an AoE Shock. Come Fly With Me removes negative effects from an ally, restores cooldowns on allies, applies precision to all allies. So I like this skill more so just because it cleanses any negative effects your allies may have. So let's say, again, you have Jakpack, you have some other allies, you're facing a Don Canine, you did cooldown protection, so then Don Canine decides to, I don't know, stun one of your monsters, or let's say something else happens where maybe someone's still using Qiao Long, Absolute Freeze. Like, let's say something happens where one of your allies is denied with a Mega Possession. Maybe you're fighting the Cobra and does a Mega Possession on one of your allies. The fact that you can cleanse that negative effect and then even restore the cooldowns in case they already did their most powerful attack, they can do it again. That is pretty nice. And then we have Found the Weak Spot, which deals heavy thunder damage and applies damage boost to all of your allies. I like this just because it gives a damage boost. You attack and you damage boost. This monster is not really there to attack the enemy. He's there just to support his team. Overall, I'll admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the monster. Again, he does have anticipation, and normally anticipation monsters are like, wow, amazing. You know, you look at Hardy, he's a strong anticipation attacker. You look at Chuckle Muckle, great support monster, life regen, stamina regen, pyrophobic shield. You only take damage from the fire elements. When I look at this monster, I think his main role is to stop ET from happening again, right? He's fast, he's anti-cooldown activation, so you run Jakpack protect with cooldown protection, and then you run the shock to prevent ET skills, and I think that's his main purpose. The bad thing about even this skill that restores cooldowns, Come Fly With Me, or even Jakpack, if you get hit with cooldown activation, if you run Jakpack as a team speed holder, and the enemy Don Canine goes and activates your cooldown, or Baronex goes, well then your cooldowns are active as well, so you're going to have to wait 3 turns, 2 turns before you can restore cooldowns on one of your allies. So with Jakpack, you need to go first, and you need to prevent your team from getting hit with CDA in the first place. So I don't know how well that's going to be in the meta. In Team Wars, oh, it's going to be great because you can specifically be slower than a Don Canine, Baronex, whatever, anyone that activates your cooldowns, you can purposely be slower and just restore cooldowns. In PvP meta, where Megaton still exists, well, the best way to counter an AoE CDA is to have a Megaton monster. And I don't know how many players are going to still be using, like, a monster going first, doing Ignorance is Bliss, and then, you know, activating your cooldowns. I think for defense, that won't really work. So yeah, I don't know how well this monster will really be used. In terms of the skill though, let me go. So we're doing the extra turn skill. By the way, this will not trigger any talent you use since it doesn't deal damage. So anyways, apply shock gives 1 extra turn. Jakpack to protect yourself from getting hit with CDA. Double damage. Oh, let's go with the cleansing. So again, you want more supportive base skills. So I would say Taser Throw, Jakpack, and then Come Fly With Me. And then I would say, wow, none of these deal damage. If you want your Jakpack to deal some damage, Found the Weak Spot, you could also damage boost everyone. I would also say maybe just give a double damage to your main attacker when there's nothing else to do, right? Because he has the second lowest power in the game. He's not there to deal damage. If you run a damage boost for your whole team, well, what if your third monster is a taunt monster or a mega taunt monster? You don't need that monster to have a damage boost. You want the double damage to go straight to your attacker. So I'm tempted to say this is your best skill set, but then you lack any damage. So if somehow Jakpack is the last monster alive, well, you're not going to win, because, well, unless you win with shock damage, right? Damage over time. Flying Taser, you could use this if you want to shock everyone, and maybe if you run a hidden ship, you deal some bleed damage. Again, that's damage boost skill, damage boost, and yeah, I don't know. And I don't really see this monster being used as an attacker. That would make sense. Maybe for now, in early meta, there can be some arguments to making him an attacker, especially if you have power armor, which increases the power of any monster, right? So maybe it's hard to justify it, but maybe Found the Weak Spot, it's heavy thunder, AoE thunder with power armor, Jakpack, Taser, and then use him as an anticipation attacker in early game, especially since he's a race monster. So I could kind of see players, they get him at rank 4 from the race, they rank him up a couple times thanks to the rank up survival dungeon, thanks to just getting residual cells, and they maybe use him as an anticipation attacker for now. I could see that for now, anticipation attacker, but it's hard to justify. You would definitely need power armor, otherwise it wouldn't work. Because when you look at his talents, look at this. Mr. Beast Banner, you never have to worry about stamina, and then you can even drain stamina when you attack. So, yeah, I'll take him to rank 5 in this video, and you'll see him as an attacker with anticipation, and then you guys can decide for yourselves. But as a more supportive based monster, he needs like a med pack. He just needs to survive, honestly. With no damage, if you're running my skill set, you're dealing no damage. So I'm not saying my skill set is the best. You can totally swap that out. We are gonna pay to open these up, and we are gonna give this monster, as I mentioned, realistically he goes 3 speed runes. It would be this, and you're just countering like in Grandmaster duels. If he goes first, you stop cooldown, you do cooldown protection. Dawn Canines and Baronexes are not going to be able to activate your cooldowns. So in Grandmaster duels, he might really shine. But PvP, Wars, I think he can shine depending on the situation. So again, this is, I think, ideally how you would run the monster. Relics, runes, and everything. But right now, the way PvP is set up, you don't want this monster going first because you need to deal with Megaton. So I'm going to swap that. But I think ideally this is somewhat how you would run him. See, because a regular team in PvP is right now like Long and Megaton, so the Megaton monster absorbs the CDA, so unless the enemy has Long and then a CDA monster after them, I don't really have to worry about countering that. So, like, I'll just show you a quick battle just to see what kind of opponents we run into. Let's see. It is, yeah, see, so no cooldown activation monster in the PvP meta right now. Will it change with more Metro Monster release? Possibly, but for right now, it's not something we really have to worry about. So here, we'll hit them with Absolute Zero. Let's see, who has ET? Unrelenting Assault. So I could use the shock to stop him from utilizing his extra turns. So we'll do that. Dispelling Fish removes positive effects. That's fine. Double damage to the attacker. I actually don't even have an attacker. But here, let's just for fun. Let's say Long is my attacker. There's the double damage. Awesome. So now when I do Forgotten, boom, it's stronger. When I do Corrupted Dragon, boom, it's stronger. Alright, so I think we'll just kill Spec. I can't deal any damage, so restores cooldowns. I guess I can showcase that. So let me restore the cooldowns on Long. Now I can use any skill right here. Let's reapply this. So see, I can do my, well, that has 1 turn cooldown. I can do Corrupted Dragon, which normally had a 2 turn cooldown. So bam, I'll attack you, and I'll just recharge. You are no longer frozen, so let me go ahead. Oh, I should not have done that damage mirror. I'm hoping he cleanses. Let's do the shock. Alright, so we shocked. I get an extra turn. I could set up double damage, and then trio. Unfortunately, if UA would have kicked in, we got an extra turn. Well, obviously the shock would have canceled that. So again, that's kind of how this monster is utilized. We'll try 1 or 2 more battles, and then we'll try the attacker. We'll try him as an attacker right now. Honestly, that might be a little fun. So let's fight, and let's see what kind of opponents we're running into. The Great Monster Warriors. All right, cool. So let's click fight again. So Panda is actually a CDA monster, so this might actually be a decent showcase. And we'll do Ignorance is Bliss, and then we're gonna have to Corrupted Dragon him eventually. He could also turn transfer. So hey, if I thought that, although I think it might cleanse, I'm not entirely sure. But just in case, like, let's shock, get some DOT damage on him. Let's go ahead and double damage over here. You have too much, so that removed positive effects twice. Rotten Bananas. Forgotten. Let's get rid of your buffs. And then I have a double damage buff. Let's Corrupted Dragon. Now I'm free to attack whoever I want. Heavy Roller. Ouch. Daze and Stun. And that was a CDA. Darn, I wish I had the cooldown protection. Let's do Forgotten. And Corrupted Dragon again. So now I'm hit, so I gotta recharge 1 turn. But next turn, and again, I think the lowest cooldown I have is 2 turns. So I can't even restore cooldowns since I got hit with CDA, which is what I mentioned earlier where, okay, if you get hit with CDA, you can't really restore cooldowns because the lowest skill is a 2-turn cooldown skill. So here I am just gonna slowly get stumped. Had I activated cooldown protection, even then it wouldn't have helped. So this is one of those monsters that is truly hard to showcase because it specifically relies on countering CDA. And as I mentioned, the CDA meta does not really exist in PvP. Here, let me get rid of level 10 runes on this monster, and then we'll try it on our not attacker / we're gonna make him into an attacker monster thanks to power armor. I feel like power armor is gonna be the equivalent to UA in the sense that I can make any monster that I want to, any Metro monster, into an attacker just by increasing the power stat by an insane amount. So we're gonna give him 2 strength, and assuming you're gonna go this weird attacker setup, you're gonna, I think, let's see, we'll keep the shock skill, or maybe not, we'll see. Let me put his main skill. So his main skill is this strong skill right here, heavy thunder damage boost to everyone for 3 turns. We want to do an AoE, so you'll probably found the weak spot, follow up with an AoE skill, and then you have a spammable shock skill, which I think makes sense. You could self double damage, like it's possible you damage boost and then you self double damage. I think restoring cooldown and protecting might still be valuable. Oh, the decisions. It might still one of these might still be powerful. Like, assuming the enemy landed a bunch of dots on you, to do Come Fly With Me on yourself, to cleanse negative effects, it's nice. Ideally, you'd want another partner to do it. You wouldn't want to waste it yourself. As for Taser Throw, also still valuable in case there's an enemy that has ET skills and you want to prevent it. And this has a 2-turn cooldown, this has a 3-turn cooldown, so you can easily cycle back into it. So, I'm going to do 2 offense skills, and then the extra turn shock skill, and the Jakpack pack for the cooldown protection, just to have that benefit. Alright, and if we're doing that, you have to go power armor, otherwise you're not going to deal any amount of damage. So, let's see what this monster can do now, using the exact same team. And I think it'll be a better showcase, but again, it's not really how he's intended. Ooh, this guy's name is Armor Claw. Alright, we have 2 anticipation monsters. Alright, very interesting. So we're going to start the game off with Ignorance is Bliss. There we go. Morg's Armor, Pain Distiller. Alright, so, found the weak spots. Flying Taser, Shock to everyone, Jakpack pack, and then Shock. I don't really need to worry about any of them, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do Found the Weak Spot. So take a look at Flying Taser, 150k damage. And then let me attack Waldorf. I have the damage boost. Alright, drain some stamina. So now let's see how strong my attack is, my AoE is, now that I hit them with that. Let's do Corrupted Dragon. Alright, let's recharge here. And let's see, as soon as I get my turn in, we'll punish the weak. Let's hit Lord Nabotis. Pain Distiller. Alright, so now that I have my boost, alright, it went up to 224k damage. And I might as well, Flying Taser. Boom. So now they all have shock, so if they had some sort of extra turn skill, they would not be able to utilize it. I'm going to do Forgotten. Lord Nabotis is trait disabled? Yeah. Yeah, Ignorance is Bliss. Let's get rid of that. I'm not like it really matters. We'll apply some protection. Nope, I had Nanovirus. Ooh, I get an attack in. Here is where my extra turn skill, Taser Throw, cycles back in, and I'm able to do Found the Weak Spot again. So I'm able to take down Lord Nabotis. Boom. And we'll recharge. And we'll recharge. So again, I think there might be arguments for doing an attacker. Yeah, because I don't think that the cooldown activation Jakpack will make sense right now, the anti-cooldown activation, but I think just because he's a Metro monster, just because you have power armor in the game, I think there's arguments for using them like this. Ah, shoot, I got frozen. Oh man, so I don't think I'll survive this. Yep. They killed Jakpack. He's just a little kid, learn about this. What the heck? He's just a little kid. Alright, let me take him to rank 5 and let's see how much stronger he is. Alright, so here we have him at level 150. So let's see. He's definitely gonna pack a bigger punch, especially without power armor. So again, as I mentioned earlier, I feel like power armor, ooh, Ronin, is going to be the equivalent to utilizing like Unrelenting Assaults on all my monsters, just making them all attackers. So I think it makes sense to start off with Corrupted Dragon. Alright, get that Mega Freeze. Alright, found the weak spot, OTK! Flying Taser, OTK, what's my power at? Oh my gosh, no wonder, 130k? Like this is 87, this is 30, wow. Alright, let's go ahead and just, what do you have? Any soul drags? Anything that can harm me? Med pack. Let's do, what do we want to do? Let's found the weak spots. Let's attack you, get a damage boost. Alright, Sigurd, you can't do much. Recharge, recharge. And then I will do, for fun, Taser Throw, Shock, and then my AoE. I mean, it would kill everyone. He doesn't have Revival. He doesn't have Revival, so cooldown protection. My team is protected, of course. Recharge. Alright, Sigurd and Fort can attack me, so I better attack Sigurd and Fort. So, again, if you're going more the attacker route and you want to do the spammable skill, totally cool. No reason not to. I decided I wanted that extra turn skill just to cycle back in, and because it can at least stop UA, and it can stop extra turn monsters. Again, if you're fighting an Emerald Lothura, you can stop her. If you're fighting any of the other monsters that have, like, just any extra turn skill, you can stop them. Let's see what we're going up against here. Oh, look, there's an Emerald Lothura, so hopefully I don't kill her. Let's go ahead, Immune to Control. Let's go Ignorance is Bliss. Alright, there we go. I think I'm going to kill her, to be honest. I think it might be too strong. Alright, Mr. Beast Banner, never have to worry about stamina. So, oh wait, it doesn't deal damage, never mind. So, here is the Taser Throw. Oh, shoot, taunt. AoE kills everyone, found the weak spot. Let's just single target, found the weak spot, boom. Alright. Let's recharge. Let's recharge. Plus I have anticipation. Oh, honestly, guys, the thing is, tell me you have resurrection. You do. Alright, cool. Flying Taser, boom. Yeah, I can definitely see him being used as an attacker. It's almost like when Master Rat first got out, and Master Rat was a supporter, but thanks to Unrelenting Assaults, everyone used him as an attacker. So I can definitely see Jakpack being used like this. So he's not going to be used the way he's intended to be, at least at the beginning. What do you want to run? It's up to you. Swap out Jakpack, swap out Taser Throw. Again, don't discount Come Fly With Me since it removes negative effects. Don't also discount self, double damage to yourself. So I'm going to do the Spawnable skill just so we can see how much damage it deals. Alright, Jakpack. Looks like I might honestly be using you myself. Alright, let's see. Let's click Fight, Pangoliath. Alright. So I might get frozen here, to be honest. I'm assuming that Xiaolong has absolute 0. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, absolute 0. Yeah. So let's see if I can survive. Mad Whispers. I don't think so. Yeah, I do not think so. Corrupted Dragon. Nope. Alright. So, yeah, and again, this is what you're running into in PvP specifically, so it's hard to showcase a monster that relies on stopping cooldown activation when the thing you gotta worry about is getting hit with a Mega Freeze. And, alright, cool, so we can end with this. So, I'm gonna go Ignorance is Bliss. All the enemies are gonna get Mega Frozen except for Cryo Crawler. Jakpack could probably just do his AoE. Yeah. Literally, look at that. Look at that damage. This, again, keep in mind, guys, this is why I think Power Armor is broken. This is a... Now, granted, I'm 150. These are 152. He's 148. I have the second lowest power stat of all the Metro monsters. This is a weak 35 damage attack. Yeah, 35 damage AoE. And I'm still OTKing everyone. Like, that's ridiculous. We're just going to do Jakpack Taser. Let me single target. I want to see how much damage it deals. Alright. We'll just attack a 140 Metro. So, Jakpack Taser. Let's see. Actually, we'll attack a 150. It deals 281k damage on a weak 35 damage attack. Alright guys, so with that being said, this has been an exclusive first look at our Marathon monster, Jakpack. Anti-cooldown activation, but potentially going to be used as an attacker for the beginning of this Metro era Season 2, and until a better attacker comes along. I mean, we have better attackers, but again, this is a monster that players are going to have access to, more competitive players at rank 4, and potentially easily rank up, so... It's going to be interesting to see what players utilize. He does have anticipation, so that is a force to be reckoned with. He can shock, so if anyone's using UA, this automatically counters that. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this monster in the comments below. Thank you very much, and remember to subscribe.